Lori Vallow, the woman dubbed the Doomsday Mom, was convicted just days ago for the murders of her two youngest children. Now some members of the jury are speaking out about their experience during this trial and what led them to finding her guilty on all charges. NewsNation legal contributor Jesse Weber spoke with one of the alternate jurors on Law and Crime Network and joins us live. Jesse, thanks for being with us. Certainly a big interview here. You spoke with Tiffany. She did not actually help decide the verdict. Again, she was an alternate, but says she was very much aligned with the final decision, but she wasn't sure about the charges regarding Tammy Daybell's death.
It was fascinating because what she recounted was basically in line with us legal analysts on the outside, what we were thinking. And she said that if she had the choice, she would have convicted Lori Vallow Daybell with respect to the two children, JJ and Tylee, but she wasn't totally committed with respect to the death of Tammy Daybell, which is what we were saying as well. We were saying that it was possible the jury could actually acquit Lori Vallow Daybell with respect to the conspiracy charge of Tammy Daybell. She did indicate that she would have wanted to have that discussion with her fellow jurors, and maybe she could have been convinced otherwise, but she didn't think that there was enough there. And I just have to tell you, it really restores your faith in the jury system, let alone, this is a tough trial to sit on, but this is somebody who not only agreed to be impartial, who was very clear that she didn't speak about the case at any point. She didn't read anything about the case while she was serving as a juror. She just went home and cried about what she was hearing. And even despite all of that evidence and hearing what she heard, she still didn't base her decisions on emotion. She based it purely on the facts and the evidence, which I think is just, she's a commendable juror. She's an ideal model juror. And so when people have, they lose faith in the jury system, I encourage everyone to listen to that interview and listen to her.
Well, and Jesse, you mentioned there it was a tough trial to sit on. Tiffany shared that she is a mother. She shared how parts of this trial were just particularly hard for her because she's a mom. She says she's still carrying some of that emotional baggage. Let's listen.
That was the hardest day for me. I couldn't even, I just cried. I tried to hide my tears a lot because I know we weren't supposed to show emotion. And yeah, it was incredibly disturbing that somebody would do that to kids. And I would come home to my teenage daughter and just cry, and she would just hold me and give me a hug. And there was one day I saw a kid walking in the grocery store, with his pajamas on and his bare feet. And I just came home and I just cried that how somebody could do something just, to children like that. Just, it's pure evil.
Well, Jesse, we hear there, we see she was so affected by this. In your court experience, how often does a jury have to view some extremely gruesome evidence? And is the jury allowed to react to that evidence there in the courtroom?
They're human beings. They have no choice. She said to me, we're told to not show emotion. We're told to try to not react, but it's impossible. Let's just reflect on what she saw. And what I told her and what we said was the hardest day was seeing the autopsy photos of JJ and Tylee. Our reporting indicated, and NewsNation's reported that it was an incredibly difficult day for the jurors and everybody in that courtroom. So these are human beings. They're going to react. And sometimes what we see is jurors can't handle it. They have to leave the actual jury service. They have to be dismissed. So I think it also have to give them all credit, including Tiffany, that she was able to stay on this jury despite seeing everything and able to maintain herself and hear the evidence and listen to it dispassionately, which is, I told her, I've been following this case since 2019. I don't think I would have been able to do it. I don't think I've been able to sit on that jury. And so the fact that she was able to, again, just a lot of credit to her.
Absolutely. Jesse, last question for you. Let's talk about what's next for Lori Vallow. This happened in Idaho. She'll be sentenced there in approximately 3 months, but she still has more charges to face. And these charges are in Arizona. Yep.
So conspiracy to commit the murder of Charles Vallow, her deceased husband, who was killed at the hands of her deceased brother, Alex Cox. What we saw in this trial was a mountain of evidence against her. Not everything, but a mountain of evidence. And I'll be curious to see how she defends herself there. I actually asked Tiffany if she would have convicted her for the murder of Charles Vallow if that was a decision on her desk. And it was interesting. She said she couldn't do that. She wanted to hear what the defense would present. Again, another reason why she's an ideal juror. But for right now, Lori Vallow is going to be sentenced to the mandatory of life in prison without the possibility of parole. There's a question of Chad Daybell's trial. Would she cooperate and testify against him? I think that's highly unlikely. But I will be curious to watch Chad's trial and see if he throws her under the bus, which she chose not to do in her trial by not throwing him under the bus. So there's still more to come in the Lori Vallow Daybell saga.
Absolutely. NewsNation contributor Jesse Weber, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.